Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching India Tonight. In fact, joining us now is a very special guest. We have with us Harsha de Silva. He's an MP from Sri Lanka to talk about the important developments that have transpired in the Indian Ocean region in the wake of the sinking of the Iris Dena attack. Welcome, Mr. de Silva. Thank you very much for taking the time out and speaking to us here on ET. Now, first things first, I want to ask from you, what is Sri Lanka's official position on the warship being torpedoed by the United States in the Indian Ocean region? And if you could deliberate a bit upon that.
Well, Sri Lanka is concerned, obviously, because we are a maritime nation and we rely on the supply routes, logistics, ports. So therefore, it is important that there is safe passage for ships and trade and commerce takes place. And also, we are coming out of a crisis, and we haven't yet built sufficient buffers to withstand a sort of a prolonged conflict and the repercussions. So therefore, for us, it is critically important that we are back in business without disruption in the ocean.
Absolutely. Now, approximately 75% of the maritime trade flows through, the IOR. As an island nation with great dependencies on maritime trade, do you think this conflict stretching from West Asia to Indian Ocean has ripple effects on your trade and commerce as well?
I mean, certainly yes, because below the southern tip of Sri Lanka, about 60,000 ships traverse on an annual basis, taking more than 50% of energy from the west to the east. So therefore, any disruption in the ocean is going to have serious repercussions, not just for us, but for the entire region. So it is important, like I said, that we safeguard those supply lines.
Right, sir, but in the current context with Sri Lanka, we are aligning with regional members for a joint stance, a joint diplomatic dialogue, perhaps?
Well, Sri Lanka is a friend of all. We have no enemies. So therefore, we are always willing to convene if the government is so interested in doing so, and to help resolve any issues that concern not just us, but all and the entire region. Sri Lanka is not a big country. We don't have a big navy or air force, but we have a strong convening power. And I think we should utilize that right now to be able to not only help ourselves, but to help the region and the world at large.
Now, as a responder nation, what forms of security concern it creates for you, as we already witness evacuation efforts are in place, and reportedly another Iranian warship is expected to sail through?
I mean, obviously, we don't want any flare-up around our country. That's quite natural. Yes, we understand that a second Iranian ship is just off the border of sovereign waters. And I'm not sure exactly what the government is doing. I'm sure they are talking to whoever necessary to ensure that nothing untoward happens. I think dialogue and discussion is what is most important right now. Earlier, we responded to a distress call. We did not know what had happened. And assets were deployed to rescue some 30-odd people, and 80-odd dead bodies are stored in a district hospital in the south, in a place called Karapitia in Gaul. So we are doing whatever needs to be done, following international protocol in situations like this. We have no part to play in the conflict. We have no part to play in any of this. We are just a country that happened to get a distress call, and we, like any decent nation would do, we went and did what had to be done.
Absolutely, Mr. De Silva. It remains to be seen what the Sri Lankan government's official response on this development is going to be. But thank you very much for taking the time out and speaking to us here on ET Now. Ladies and gentlemen, time for us to move on and take a look at some other